Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third instalment of the Football Card Podcast. Today, we're joined by not only Tobias, we're joined by Barnaby. We found him.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. For a brief visit. As you put that post up, I think a lot of people in the comments thought that I was sort of returning. I'm not. I'm afraid I don't have any plans to return imminently. But I'm sure we'll talk more about that later.
Oh, we certainly will. We've got a lot of questions planned regarding the disappearance, essentially, of Barnaby. I mean, it's been in my comment section for over a year now. I have to reply the same thing. I just didn't know. But now you're here, we can ask and get some answers, essentially. Toby, how are you on this fine day, by the way?
Oh, I'm really well, thanks. Really excited to get into this third episode. I think it should be good. I think hopefully we can find out a little bit more about what Barnaby's been up to and, sort of his journey, not just where he is now, but his journey. So, yeah, it should be good. It should be exciting.
Couldn't agree more. So, firstly, thank you for coming on, Barnaby. It really does mean a lot.
All right, pleasure.
How are you, essentially? How are you to start off today?
I'm good. I mean, obviously, it's a weird time for everyone. I personally haven't found lockdown to be too bad. It hasn't weighed on me that much. I've been doing a lot of exercise, been working, and yeah, it's been all right. What about you boys? How have you found it?
No, it's not been too bad. Just doing a couple of videos here and there, exercising, as you said. Nothing much else, really.
Yeah,
same for me. I mean, I'm furloughed from work, so yes, things like this are nice little time fillers at the moment. But I just guess it's a bit of an unsettling and interesting time for us all. But obviously, you mentioned sort of you've been exercising and stuff. But has there been anything else you've sort of been up to? Anything that you found sort of enjoyable, or new hobbies or new skills that you've learned during lockdown?
Well, so I've been mainly doing cycling as my main form of exercise, also a bit of working out, and I've also gone to work at Sainsbury's as well. So I was at uni up until lockdown, then all of a sudden everyone go home, and I thought I might as well go out and make a bit of money during this time, and that's been all right. It's been it's working at a supermarket. I've been doing a bit of creative stuff, a bit of drawing and whatnot. So are you still in education at all, or?
I am. Yeah, I'm at university. Just finished second year, and then third year will hopefully.
Is it graphic design you're still doing?
Something to do with digital media. So it's about digital web design, animation, stuff like that. But yeah, Toby, have you learned any new skills during lockdown at all?
Not so much. No, I've been enjoying walking my dog, just chilling out and sort of using the time to do those things that probably a lot of people put off, think, I'll leave that for another day. Well, sort of now has been the time to do all of that. So yeah, some boring things, some exciting things, but not really any new skills. A lot of telly and just sort of chilling out. And
I've taken up reading as well.
Reading, nice.
Which I've always meant to do, but now, as you say, Toby, now is the perfect time to do all those things that you put off, I guess.
Changing the subject, and hopefully don't mind me starting sort of at the very beginning, Barnaby, but how did you first get into sort of collecting football cards and potentially even stickers? Where did that journey start? How did you first get into collecting and football collectibles?
So it started, as I'm sure it does for pretty much everyone, at school. It's just kind of a trend that happens, and everyone goes through that phase. I think mine started in primary school, where all of a sudden everyone was bringing these match tacks. You buy some, and it's a lot of fun to collect, definitely. And obviously, some people enjoy it more than others. Some people stay with it for longer than others. So I kind of started collecting in primary school, and then stopped for a bit, and then started again in about year 8. And throughout that time, I've been all into filmmaking and whatnot. So I thought merge the two together, and ended up posting my first video in April 2014, so a long time ago now. And once I'd started the YouTube, it kind of became a little cycle. As I was doing more YouTube, I was getting more into the collecting, and it snowballed from there, really.
No, that's fantastic. So that's pretty much the same as how that's how I got into it. I like making films. I did YouTube all through primary school pretty much as well, but that was a different channel. We won't talk about that today. But yeah, it's exciting, obviously, making that first video. But were there any content creators that inspired you to make that first video?
Yes, football cards and stickers was the main one at the time, and because at the time when you search match stats on YouTube, he was the top 10, 20 results. Obviously, that changed over time, but yeah. And then when I started to get more into the community, I discovered you and other creators, and yeah, it was kind of I feel a community ripe for more creators to come in and sort of change it up a bit. And that's what I tried to do, I guess.
No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, football cards and stickers, the top for a long time, but obviously he's tailed off a bit now. He doesn't get as many views, but yeah, that fantastic stuff.
He turned out to not be quite as friendly, let's say, as he was maybe to me when I first started. I think when the balance started to shift a bit, he didn't like that too much. Is the impression I got. I don't know if you remember that time where we all fell out with him.
Well, admittedly, nor did I. I didn't like the fact that you'd overtaken me and taken the limelight a bit. But I'm sure you remember that.
Nothing personal, man.
Yeah, but you know, it's long term. It worked out quite well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You're still going strong, mate. I see you've passed 40k, is it? Yeah, well on your way. Fair play to you.
Thank you.
It's always quite interesting from someone on the outside, sort of hearing about. Obviously, I don't do YouTube. I don't have my own channel, so it's always quite interesting hearing about, I suppose, the way the content creators interact. So, how did sort of that work? You know, the interaction. Obviously, you say football cards and stickers was your inspiration, but where did sort of the interactions with each other begin? When did you first start? Not even collaborating, but talking to each other as creators.
Yeah. So obviously, as people in the same sort of system, you're very aware of each other. And so we both. It probably took him a while to find out who I was as I sort of grew a bit. And yeah, he was very friendly to me. Obviously, me and Jack have been good mates throughout our journey. Football cards and stickers, we were good mates to begin with, and then there was a period where, do you remember when we started to do videos with Tops? And he really didn't like that. And in my mind, our relationship with Tops was always very simple and very above board, in that we would go down, and obviously they gave us the fantastic opportunity of interviewing Ivanovic, which was amazing, and one that I was never going to turn down. But I also, at the same time, always made sure that me working with Tops and doing videos with them wasn't influencing what I said about their cards. I always wanted to make sure that I was completely honest about their cards. And I feel that I was. And when they did things they didn't like, when they changed things, I was the first one to say, no, I don't agree with this. So, but football cards and stickers, he didn't see it that way. He saw it more, well, I think he called me straight up a sellout.
Yeah. He did.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
No, well,
yeah, and he took down all his videos with me. I think he gave you the same treatment, didn't he?
Not so much. I think me and Andy, as he's known, we've had a good relationship, I'd say, all the way through. To be fair, he obviously wasn't a massive fan of us working with Tops, but there's loads of YouTubers work with Tops now. So it's kind of drowned out his comments a bit. But yeah, we get along well. I think we still discuss the upcoming collections, but he's very Panini heavy, that man. But
he's got some sort of Italian background, I think.
I was going to say, I think he's of that generation, isn't he? Where I suppose, you know, not only quite right. I think he's got some Italian family or Italian background, but as well where Panini was the only collectible that I suppose that generation really knew, the 70s and sort of the 80s collections. It was Panini mania. You know, it was sort of the first real spike in their sort of, I suppose, collectors market in the UK, where they gained everyone's interest and everyone was hooked, and they produced some brilliant stuff. So I can totally understand and sort of see that bias. I suppose maybe is in a way that people our age maybe have a little bit more of an affinity or understanding of Tops, because that's what people were brought into.
Yeah, I think for our generation, it's match tax that is the more iconic one. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing bigger in this sort of football cards and stickers stuff than the Panini stickers at the World Cups. That's still the number one, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Views on match attacks are so much higher than Panini Adrenaline XL. It's because of that generational thing, which is a shame. But I feel like that will change because Adrenaline XL now obviously does the Premier League, and that's the biggest collectible pretty much. So, yeah.
It's interesting to see how it's all evolved, though, because obviously, even in the 10 years sort of that since I first discovered match tax, this stuff has changed extraordinarily. I mean, you've now got FIFA, which is essentially Ultimate Team is built on a model of the same things as the cards and stickers, where you collect these cards, and then obviously Ultimate Team gives you the added thing of being able to play with those players as well on FIFA. But I still do think that there's nothing quite like opening the real pack of cards and collecting those.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It's an incredible feeling. I'm sure Toby can agree with that.
100%. It's not the same opening a virtual pack of cards on FIFA. It's just not the same as opening a physical pack of football cards and being able to put them in an album and sort of being able to go back and look at them, and just nothing better really.
Absolutely. I think it'd be great if they managed to do some sort of like collaboration. Maybe now that it's Panini who have the rights, if it was Panini and FIFA did a collaboration where you could open the real packs and then get them on your Ultimate Team.
That would be incredible. I'm not sure that happened for a while, but Panini, you never know. They're capable. I reckon they could do that sort of thing. But going back to the YouTube subject, Barnaby, was YouTube your first endeavour as a job? Was that the first kind of thing? Yeah. What did your parents think? Was it a good thing?
My parents were surprised. I mean, when it first started out, it was obviously probably the same as you, just a hobby. It's like, if you looked at it from the outside, like, right, you're filming yourself opening some packets of cards, like, it doesn't seem to be that, fruitful. And then when the first paycheck started coming in, that's when I think the adults in my life, my parents included, really started to take notice. And they were like, hang on a sec, maybe he's on something here. And as that continued, my parents were very impressed with it. They were also kind of like, focus on your studies. Like, at the end of the day, that's going to make the bigger impact on your life, which I think in the end, I probably agree with. But it's a great journey.
Absolutely. Well, you amassed 100,000 subscribers. Quick question: do you have the plaque?
I do have the plaque. I can go grab it for you.
Go and get that plaque. I want to see this plaque. Oh, look at that!
There we go.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that's epic.
One day,
it's quite surreal still to have one of these, but it's really, really cool to get.
Well, it shows hard work pays off. But as the channel grew, did it take more money and time to create the videos, etc.?
Yeah, I think it did take more money, but what I found was that the more I opened, the more views I would get. Obviously, that generates advertising revenue, and so it became this thing where I could sort of invest more and more, if you get what I mean. But I was always a big reinvestor, I guess. Like, I would like to spend a lot of the money I made back into the channel to, go even bigger, do a 100-pack opening and whatnot. I mean, it got a bit excessive maybe, but
they were very good. Those videos were arguably one of your popular sub-series.
They were popular. I think part of that was because of the watch time, which you'll be familiar with, where basically the way YouTube determines which videos do better is purely by how much time is spent watching those videos. So if you do, I mean, this is why I think this podcast could do very well as well, because if you do a video that's an hour long, and even if only a few of the people watch the full hour, I know barely anyone who clicked on the 100-pack opening actually watched it the full way, But because there's so much watch time on that video, YouTube really pushes it and shows it to a lot of people. And obviously you've got the added thing of if someone sees 100 pack opening, they're likely to click on it. So yeah, I think there was a few reasons why those worked out particularly well. But yeah, as you say, I think that I definitely got one of my 2 videos that had 1 million views was the 100 pack opening.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic sub-series. But obviously when you were doing YouTube, you know, I think we might have touched up upon this a little bit earlier, but were you teased at school at all for doing football cards on YouTube? Because I certainly was.
No, I think I played it quite well because I didn't. So I was 13 when I started it. So it's not that old for match stacks. It's probably like maybe a bit older than the average age for match stacks. But obviously I did it up until I was 18. And so I didn't tell anyone at school about it until I had about 6,000 subscribers. So by that point, it was, I mean, I think if I had told people when I had 100 subscribers, I would have definitely got teased because, I mean, that's what kids do, isn't it?
That was my problem.
They'll find any little thing.
Yeah.
But once you're actually doing well out of it and you're making money from it, it kind of takes away the ammunition because it's like, you know, fair play to you. You're actually grinding it.
Exactly. Fantastic.
So it was much more supportive at school than getting teased for me.
I think it's one of those things that though, a lot of people that collect can relate to, whether you do YouTube or not. You know, people seem to have ways of finding out one way or another, and it's always been one of those things where it's a perception that you're young, or you know, it's pointless or it's silly, or immature. I think probably more now. Again, now that I suppose Panini's become a little bit more popular. You've got to give them credit for this, really, particularly with the way that the World Cup stickers have sort of really come back with a bit of a bounce. That actually, yeah, it's become a little bit more acceptable again for sort of younger people that are older than sort of child age to collect again. So I think a lot of people certainly can relate to that. But I think there's a little bit of change happening.
I don't know why that, like, collecting football cards and stickers gets targeted. But then, like, there's so many other things that people collect. I mean, I think collecting is very much a part of human nature. And those sort of don't get targeted at all. So I think it's just a, you know, I guess, cultural thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, really. I think, you know, it probably is a cultural thing. And I think, yeah, perceptions are probably slowly changing, which is a good thing. But I suppose sticking on the subject of, obviously, the success you had, did you expect that success? And did you really have a plan for I suppose, as the channel grew more, was there a plan for where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do?
When I first uploaded my first video, I had done various YouTube channels before that, none with any real purpose. So this was the first one I did where I actually had a subject that I wanted to do rather than just uploading random videos, as I can imagine. Jack, did you do that as well? Yeah, well, that's kind of how YouTube starts, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But this was the first one that I actually went at it with, right, I'm going to do match stats on this. And then, I don't know, I think I started at a good time at the start of the 2014 World Cup when the community was first sort of coming together. I remember when I first started, Football Cards and Stickers was the biggest and he had 20k subscribers. So there was clearly potential there. And yeah, I think I just managed to time it right. And, but yeah, I definitely didn't expect it to take off the way it did. But then as it did start to take off, I just sort of, you know, took each video as it came, tried to think, right, what can I do better? What can I do that people would enjoy to watch? I remember the pack and plays that we did and the rarity packs and all that stuff. I really enjoyed that. And I thought those were more entertaining maybe than the traditional pack openings that have been done before.
They're popular videos. They're popular videos. I did a virtual one.
You can see why, because it kind of adds an element of competition as well, a bit more excitement than just the raw opening packs.
Yeah, I did a virtual one, virtual rarity packs with football collecting couple. I don't know if you've heard much about them.
Right. Yeah. I've heard of them.
They're a new up and coming one who are doing pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah. I've always thought their videos very good.
Did it become sort of harder to create and produce new content, sort of as you went on? Did it become, I don't want to say more of a chore, but sort of in that sense that you're always, I suppose, wanting to increase the views and sort of keep the viewing sustainable? Did you always find it difficult to therefore come up with new ideas and new ways of sort of keeping your audience engaged?
Yeah, great question, because absolutely, that definitely became one of the things that I kind of struggled with, was that I'd been doing it for so many years that I was really struggling to, I think I'd kind of lost interest in it a bit. And yeah, I was also, because I'd done it for so long, it became quite samey to me. And I felt like I was doing the same thing each year. And yeah, I just kind of lost interest in it, I guess. But yeah, it did become more of a chore, if I'm being completely honest. I think you get used to it, kind of the novelty wears off. Well, this happened for me anyway. And I think GBW, you've done really well in keeping it fresh and keeping on coming up with new stuff. I think this podcast is a prime example of that, where, you know, there's no one's done it before in the community. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you very much. You must have some favourite memories and experiences from your time doing YouTube. What did it enable you to do, which you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so without YouTube? I know we spoke about the Ivanovic thing a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so the Ivanovic thing was definitely up there. Obviously, as a Chelsea fan, he was a big player for us at the time. He'd been playing for a long time. And yeah, he was one of the staples of the team. So to go and meet and interview him was absolutely brilliant. And he was a lovely chap as well, if you remember. Then also, I think the other moments that stand out to me were the swap and play tours, where we could actually go and meet the people that watch the channel, and it kind of made it all real rather than numbers on a screen. You could actually meet the people who watch in real life. And yeah, that was brilliant. And I remember once at the London one, when they had Ida Johnson there and us there as well. And our queue was like bigger than his. And obviously Ida Johnson, another Chelsea player that I really liked when I grew up. So that was just really weird. So surreal. I think obviously a lot of the kids there wouldn't have been from the Johnson generation. So obviously that was a part of it. But yeah, that was insane. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, the Ivanovic and the swap and play tours.
They were incredible. The Leicester one, I think, was our best one, because we got to do stuff on stage. We had the sign booth the whole time. That was fantastic. That was an incredible swap and play tour, and I don't know why I haven't gone back, to be honest.
I suppose, I think you've got to give credit to Tops, really, for, I suppose, recognising the impact you guys were having on young collectors, and actually sort of bringing you into the fold and sort of saying, yeah, come and be a part of the swap and play tour. Don't sort of be there on the side, come and be a part of it. And I think certainly when they started giving you your own little space, I know I came to a lot of them with Jack, and you were both there together, and seeing the queues, seeing the interaction you were having with sort of collectors of various different, mostly young, but various different ages, and the impact you have on them. It sort of, it makes you sort of realise how big an influence you guys can have. And I think it was, fair of Tops to see that and recognise it, and sort of clever of them to incorporate it would be my
absolutely opinion. Yeah, I think it was really good what they did for us. I mean, I remember one year you produced a sign, didn't you, that they got produced?
Yeah.
And we had that. We had our own little bit. Yeah, it's brilliant. No, I think it definitely in my time, Tops were a lot more receptive to that than Panini for me. I don't know if has that changed at all?
It has. I've been in contact with Panini a lot more. They're sending stuff out to YouTubers now, which is great. So they've definitely improved on that. Tops have also improved massively, because I don't know if you remember last year, it was a bit drying out, the whole getting YouTubers involved. They got us to do filming at the Top Studios a couple of times, but this year they've got a new man, a new marketing man, he's done fantastic. He's sent stuff out to YouTubers to create content. He's purely about the content, and there was big things planned for the swap and play tour this year, but it's a massive shame that was cancelled due to COVID.
So I don't know. I haven't been paying that much attention. Obviously, since I stopped doing YouTube, I haven't been collecting. But I have noticed that there's been a lot of changes in the scene, I guess, with obviously Panini have taken the Premier League license. Is that as of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you thought of that? Which have you thought that they've improved it, or that Match Tax was better?
Panini have massively improved it because Match Tax's Premier League collections were pretty abysmal towards the end, I thought.
Tired would be the word I use.
Tired, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same every single year, and Panini have definitely come in and made a massive change, especially with the Adrenaline XL. It's the first Panini Adrenaline XL Premier League. The design looked a little bit more work done to make it a bit more unique and Premier League based, but the Panini sticker album for this year, I've been told, is the biggest selling collectible out of all the football collectibles this year, which is mental considering it was released December.
Right. So, and how does the Adrenaline XL, I guess the best metric we have to go by is how many views you get on the videos, on the Adrenaline XL videos this year compared to the Match Tax ones last year?
Match Tax one's definitely got more views, I think, just about.
Okay.
But Adrenaline XL Premier, there's so much potential there. I feel next season is going to be a big one for Adrenaline XL and the views on the channel particularly. I feel we might get another YouTuber come up and kind of revolutionise a bit, or not revolutionise, but make the most of the new collectibles as you did, obviously, because there's especially the next summer, we've got the Euros, and the summer after that we've got the World Cup. There's so many more collectibles Panini have on offer compared to Topps, which is massive for them.
So Topps now, they're doing sort of, they've still got the Champions League, don't they?
They've shifted their model, Topps, and I think they've been a little bit reactionary to begin with. When we discussed stuff in the first podcast, Jack, obviously we sort of said their initial collection was poor, but I would say that they're beginning to realise that they've got to do things a little bit differently, and they can still stay in the game and be a popular brand and collectible. I think they're now looking to produce, rather than, whereas before it was 2 cycles a year of Match Tax and Match Tax Extra, they're moving to a 3-cycle model of Match Tax Extra, and Match Tax 101 to try and keep things fresh and to try and keep people engaged and give people different opportunities throughout the year to get their hands on cards.
And I've seen they've got like it's like a sticker and a card thing.
Sticker card, they've been fantastic. They were really good. Match Tax 101 is their best collection of the year by far.
It's best for a couple of years, really. Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
So how does that actually work?
There's Antoine Griezmann.
Okay.
Topps index in the bottom left. Yeah.
So then, does it have like a sticker one side and?
Yeah.
You just peel the sticker off. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That goes in the trading card album,
cool.
And then the sticker album. This one goes, but that's not much use to me now because peeled it off.
Yeah, no, it seems like there's still a lot of stuff changing in the community. Definitely compared to a few years ago when it was just Panini was Champions League, Topps was Premier League. It's now definitely switched up a lot.
I think it's going to be interesting going forward because I think the Champions League licence prior to COVID happening was up for tender, so I don't know whether Topps went back in for that, and I would assume that they would, bearing in mind the Premier League licence they haven't got for at least another 2 or 3 seasons yet before the bidding will open. So I think it would be interesting. Yeah, exactly. But just obviously, I think Jack's going to come on to sort of the big question in a minute. But just to sort of wrap up the success, was there a point, or at what point did you realise you'd really made it as a football card YouTuber, if you like?
I wouldn't say there was any particular. No, I wouldn't say there was any particular moment where it was sort of like, wow, this is it. I guess when that 100,000 plaque came through the door, that was a big moment. And towards the end of my journey, it's kind of got to, right, I want to get to 100k. Like I've come this far. I'll get to 100k and then I'll hang it up in my boots, I guess. The swap and play tours just felt, as I say, just pretty surreal. Like all these people coming up and wanting photos and whatnot. Yeah, it's really cool.
Couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
That's when I thought I made it. When when you see your fans in real life, it's incredible. It really is. As you said, it's more than just a number on the screen. So I think it's about time we ask the main question. I know you kind of touched up upon it a little bit earlier, but this is the big question what everyone's been asking me for the past year in the comment section. Why did you quit? Why did you stop? What happened? Tell me.
So I think it was sort of a gradual thing, and I've been thinking about it for a while. I'd obviously, as I say, started in 2014 when I was 13 years old, and then went all the way through to about 2018. And as I say, it had got quite samey to me, and obviously you change a lot between 13 and 18 years old. So I've been carrying on doing it because I was sort of all caught up in the excitement of it. And I think I kept going beyond what I would have kept collecting match tax. I mean, I don't rule out ever one day going back to it. And I think it's different for every person. But for me, I kind of just lost interest in it a bit. And then it became sort of, I was just doing it, because I had this thing going. I didn't want to stop it. And it sort of got to a point where I was like, this is taking up a lot of my time. Finished school, finished my A-levels, was going off to uni. And I thought, and I was around 90k subscribers. And I thought, well, I'll keep pushing it. I'll keep doing it until I get to 100k. And then once you get to 100k, I think I'll stop. So it wasn't a particular moment or anything that I thought, right, that's it. But it was more of a gradual change where I just, as I say, I just lost interest.
No, fair enough. It's as you said, it was quite repetitive, especially with the Match Attacks releasing the same old Premier League collections, Match Attacks Extra, and they were getting pretty dry year on year. Yeah. So I mean, you made it. I think you made a good decision there, especially if you're going to uni as well. That's much more important, I'd say, going off to uni and getting those studies, getting that degree. But yeah, I mean, what you did for the match tax industry or the football card YouTubing industry is fantastic. You've given us a bigger platform to grow on. There's so many more channels out there with over 10,000 subscribers. It's kind of mental. You wouldn't have expected that to happen at the start, I'm sure.
No, absolutely not. No, thanks very much. It was a brilliant journey, and probably one of the most enjoyable things that I've sort of been through in my life, definitely. But yeah, as I say, there did just come a point where I just basically decided I didn't want to do it anymore. But I definitely don't rule out coming back to YouTube in some capacity. And I don't have any sort of imminent things that are about to be released or whatever. But I do have some ideas that I would definitely, I would not rule out at all coming back to YouTube. I don't think it would be for football cards, to be honest. And I am thinking of maybe passing over my channel to someone else or something, because it's kind of just sitting there at the moment. So, I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be a nice little present for me to get a couple of them over. But there we go. Maybe one day. I'll just keep on grinding. I think
mate. Honestly, on your own channel, you're on 40k now. If you keep it going, I have no doubt that at some point you'll have one of these as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that plaque. I need that plaque. Oh, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Especially as collectors, like it just makes it even more special, because like our whole thing has been collecting, and then to get this sort of memento is just like a dream.
So we're going to ask a few Instagram questions now, because I obviously posted the promo video for this podcast on Instagram. Quite a lot of them were, why aren't you uploading anymore, which we've already answered. A couple of people saying, are you going to do pack and plays when you return, or if you return?
To be honest, I don't see myself coming back to filming match stats videos anytime soon.
Fair enough. Another person has asked if you're still a Chelsea fan. I'm sure you are.
I am certainly still a Chelsea fan, of course.
Cool, man.
Lampard era, it's going well.
Oh, here's one. Liam O'Donnell, 14. Who is your favourite Scottish club?
I've never thought about it, to be honest. Celtic, I guess.
This is a good one, actually. Natural_Fusion86 says, "Hi, Barnaby. I loved your old openings. What was your favourite card you pulled on a video?"
Probably the Gary Cahill signed card, which I actually just won on a Twitter competition from Tops, and obviously there was uproar because everyone thought it was fixed. But I can assure you it wasn't. Well, Tops told me that it wasn't anyway. But yeah, that card was particularly special. Again, as a Chelsea fan, and there was only 100 of them out there, so yeah, that was really cool.
Just while Jack gets looks for a few more questions from Instagram, one from me. Obviously, you did the football series with your friends on your YouTube channel. If you were to come back, would that be the sort of thing that you would look to do again? Maybe it's a bit more general football content.
Possibly. I think my thoughts on it at the moment is that I'd be more likely to come back doing something completely different, and not that, like, the ideas I have in mind at the moment. They're not football related at all, to be honest. Which, I mean, it would make it a bit harder because obviously I wouldn't be able to come back on the same channel and carry the audience over. I'd have to start fresh, I guess. But no, I don't. As much as those videos were really fun, they were probably my favourite videos that I filmed. I don't think that would be the way I would come back to YouTube.
Oh, here we go. So there's a question about Chelsea. W.Cresswick13. Your team is Chelsea. Is Lampard the right man, do you think? And who should you sign in the summer? Bear in mind, it's going to be a bit of a different transfer kind of window.
Yeah. So Lampard is definitely the man for me. I think he's a very intelligent guy, and his heart is absolutely with Chelsea. He's been given a very difficult job in this first season, obviously with the transfer ban. And I think overall, obviously it's been up and down. There's been some poor results against sort of worse clubs, and then a lot of good results against bigger clubs. But yeah, he's definitely the man. I think the dream signing this summer, one that we're kind of linked with, but it's one of them ones that, like, probably not going to come off. But Jadon Sancho would be amazing. Well,
Ziyech is signing as well, isn't he, this summer?
Ziyech we've already got.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a top player as well. I think that's a really good signing. Only 34 million, which in today's market is a bargain, in my opinion.
One final question from me. Obviously, throughout this sort of chat we've had, it's sort of become obviously clear that, yeah, it doesn't look like certainly you're going to come back and open football cards anytime soon. So sort of maybe it's closing the door on that sort of chapter, certainly on YouTube and of your sort of life. Is there anything you sort of want to say to all those that sort of supported you out the last couple of years to get to that 100K, that sort of were there maybe from the beginning or came along the way?
Yeah, well, thank you very much to everyone, because they all provided me with an incredible journey. It was a great ride and I really enjoyed it. I guess apologies for not returning. It's just not something that I have the desire to do at the moment. But yeah, all I would say is thank you.
I think the fans will appreciate that as well. The honesty and
Definitely.
being straight up as to why you don't want to do it anymore. The questions have been answered, everyone. That this is what you wanted, and we've #found Barnaby. Incredible stuff. I hope. Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Barnaby. Maybe we'll get you on a future one as well.
Yeah,
no problem at all. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent stuff. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy the third episode of the Football Card podcast today. Obviously, we were joined by Barnaby, Toby as well. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you do want to see more episodes of the Football Card podcast, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified to your mobile, tablet and computer device when I upload a new video. Isn't that crazy? Because I think it is. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.